eyes followed YN as she entered conference room. Everyone greeted her. YN was in the middle of her phone call discussing an important project with a colleague when her assistant quietly entered her cabin holding a folder in his hand. The assistant left the cabin and YN leaned back in her chair preparing to meet the candidate. Moments later, the door to her cabin opened and Jungkook walked in. She watched as he entered, his posture confident and his gaze focused. Jungkook gave her a respectful nod and took a seat in front of her desk. There was an air of professionalism about him that matched her own, and she found herself intrigued by the young man. She had heard that Jungkook was straightforward, even rude, and had an unapologetic attitude, but as the interview progressed, she instantly knew he was perfect for the post and the job. Few days later, YN was walking in the corridor talking on the phone while her assistant was carrying stacks of files following her. She had her phone to her ear, engaged in a discussion with a colleague about an upcoming project. As she walked, her heels echoed against the polished floor. Suddenly, her feet came to an unexpected stop. She found herself standing in front of Jungkook's cabin, the glass door offering a clear view inside. Her gaze fell upon him and she watched. Momentarily distracted from her call, Jungkook was concentrated in his work, his sleeves neatly folded up to his elbows. He didn't seem to notice her presence as she stood there for a few seconds, but just as she was about to walk away, Jungkook eventually looked up from his screen, sensing her gaze. She offered a nod in response. Accepting the greeting, Jungkook returned to his work without further acknowledgement, as she was just another presence in the office. She smirked at his reaction, impressed and captivated by the man who was both professional and dedicated to his work that he didn't bother buttering up his boss as other employees always did. With one last look at him, she resumed her phone call and walked away. There was something undeniably magnetic about him when he was deeply engaged in his work, and she herself was surprised at how he captivated her attention. Weeks later, YN couldn't help but feel a sense of curiosity whenever her gaze fell upon Jungkook. He was a man with handsome face and charisma, but always acted indifferent, not with just every female colleague, but her also. For weeks, she had been observing him from a distance, admiring his commitment to his work, his dedication to the company. It was a quality that set him apart, a quality that YN admired. But there was something else that caught her attention and intrigued her most. It was him keeping distance from office romances. While other men in the office were busy dating, Jungkook remained focused on his work. He was in the cafe when YN noticed a female employee approaching him, but he turned her down and walked away. It was so rude of him. She felt bad for the girl, but she enjoyed watching him rejecting every other girl in the office. One day, as they both found themselves in the office kitchen, Ryan decided to engage in casual conversation. She had an idea for a project and wanted to discuss it with him. He listened attentively as Ryan outlined her idea. He was dedicated. For a moment, Ryan felt satisfied that she had managed to capture his attention again, even if it was just for a moment. As they continued their interactions, Jungkook too noticed her stealing glances, making an eye contact. Not so accidental touching was how she tried to approach him, but he didn't give a about her. Jungkook left the conference room and didn't respond to her flirting. She was left with a mixture of frustration and determination. She couldn't help but think about how to approach this enigmatic man who always acted professional. Few days passed and she observed him from afar. His focus on work remained as usual. She was just finding a way to break through the walls he had erected. She did notice there was a tension between them, but Jungkook made no attempt to talk first. Now she clearly had two choices, either give up or take action. Of course, challenging nature didn't let her back down. She was determined to find a way to get closer, to explore the unspoken attraction that continued to simmer between them.